what is the likelihood of Dominik Mysterio winning the Royal Rumble? How
Wow.
incredible would that be? That would be
Wow.
that would be catering to the fan base like they never have before.
That's true.
Maybe like the
That's
Daniel
true.
Bryan yes movement would be.
The anti-yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Could
Can't
you
even call it the
imagine?
no because that's too straightforward. It's just the
Right.
anti-yes movement.
Gosh.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, that would be a very like surprising result. I think this year it feels more dialed in and predictable just because what are they going to do if they don't have either CM Punk or Cody Rhodes win the Royal
Well,
Rumble?
Well,
What are they going to
since
do?
the last time we went on an episode of Champions Chat, The Rock has returned
Ah,
apparently to WWE TV, even going as far as saying maybe I should sit at the head of the table. And the crowd lost its mind.
right.
We have friends that live in Australia that have confirmed The Rock is already being advertised in the ticket sales there for the Perth event, which is
Yeah,
Elimination Chamber.
right.
I don't know. I don't know where it's headed, but it seems to be headed
Right.
towards some big match, Rock versus Roman.
Yep.
Could The Rock enter the Rumble as number 30 and win, and that be the Mania? I like this was what we thought was a far-fetched idea,
Right.
seems to be somehow manifesting before our eyes, and yet we don't
Yeah.
quite know what context and who the odd man out is going to be.
Right. Yes. So the irony for those who listened to last week's with Sheik and we didn't talk about this part of it, but the irony I think of this is if you remember when CM Punk left, the alleged but pretty clear from what he said, behind the scenes reports were CM Punk was very upset that he never got to main event a WrestleMania. And when it was about to be his time and he was champion, Summer of Punk, all that, The Rock came back and took
Right.
that spot.
And it was
So is this
Roxina.
history repeating itself only with Cody?
Ooh.
Because I don't think CM Punk came back under anything less than I get to main event a WrestleMania and you better do it now.
Yeah,
I
because he's
don't
getting
think
old, so he
that's the
won't have a
case.
lot of years ahead of him, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Well, at
And
least in that highly competitive
he's
space.
not
Yeah.
terribly healthy either. They're
Yeah. He
they're
hurts him.
hesitant,
Yeah.
I think, on how they use him even in house shows. If you watch some of the footage on YouTube, his matches are a lot of bravado with very few actual wrestling moves. Him
Right.
and Dominic have been doing a program together, and it's kind of a heel versus face, cheering, booing.
Right.
Not a lot of actual wrestling. Rhea getting involved,
Right.
taking physicality away from and aging CM Punk. At
Yeah.
least that's how this viewer is speculating, you know?
Nice.
So do you think
Nice.
Rock Roman will happen? And then, i.e., will it happen just at Elimination Chamber as the main event?
Right. I mean, they haven't followed up on it quite yet. I don't know if that's because Roman's so part-time or because Rock is going to be so part-time. I would assume they'll have one more time where Rock comes back and Roman's there and they confront each other, so they can get the highlight reel at least for it. But I think that either one of two things. Either they set up Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber and they just shotgun a very quick segment on Raw or SmackDown. I used to be SmackDown in this case, where The Rock comes out, they have their face-to-face, they build this, and then as WWE does, they'll build this amazing promo package that makes you just believe that this is the biggest
Yeah.
match ever.
Yeah.
Or they'll do something where they tease it at Elimination Chamber and make it clear that it's going to be Rock Roman at WrestleMania XL, which then sets up, okay, well, Cody, let's say Cody loses the Rumble. Let's say Punk wins, which I think a lot of people are speculating. There's maybe even some fake leaks out there that they think this is happening. And
So
Triple
that
H
would be Punk Seth at Mania
Punk Seth for one of the
if
main
he
events
wins
at
the Rumble.
Mania. Right. And so then maybe The Rock does something where it's clear from Elimination Chamber that Rock Roman is happening at WrestleMania. And the story for Cody is, how do I get to WrestleMania?
He takes the Money in the Bank briefcase from Damian Priest. I've been saying that for
Maybe,
months and months,
maybe,
that he has the heist moment somehow with the
right?
briefcase at WrestleMania. What if he cashes it in on CM Punk? Wouldn't that be nuts?
It would be, although it doesn't go along with the story because Cody has made it clear the WWE title, which is now the Universal WWE, that's the only one that counts for him
Oh,
right now.
hmm.
But I think even I think they set up something where Cody or where Rock Roman opens. I know this would be crazy. Rock Roman opens Elimination Chamber. They make it really clear, if it's a segment, a match, doesn't matter. They make it really clear that that's happening at WrestleMania. And then Cody goes into the Elimination Chamber. He gets his cage open first, or he's one of the first two in there. He has to survive the entire gauntlet. And then he wins Elimination Chamber and sees, okay, I've punched my ticket. And then hopefully they don't do a triple threat. Hopefully they don't do it where Cody
Uh,
pins Rock and then Roman can still say, I'm undefeated, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully what they do is Rock Roman opens night one of WrestleMania and Cody Roman closes night two. So it's the bookend. It's the chapters of the story.
back to
Hopefully.
back. That would be well.
Yeah.
Rock Roman only really makes sense to me if Rock dethrones Roman as the tribal chief
Right.
and somehow restores integrity and honor to the bloodline. The what's
Right.
the family name? The
Hawaii.
Anawai family,
Yeah.
right? And is a unification agent. And Sika comes out and Rakishi, and there's just this amazing, beautiful family reunion in the ring at Roman's
Right.
expense. And then he takes a couple months, years off and pursues his acting career. Like that's a
The Rock has an
WrestleMania.
acting career?
No,
Are you talking about
Roman,
Roman?
Roman,
I was just
Roman
messing. I'm
wants
just messing.
Roman, I think, is
Yeah.
that, but like that would be a WrestleMania moment. There would be
Right.
highlight reel, memorable
Right.
material for years and years to come with the lay, and the what are those like the head shrinkers used to wear, like the Hawaiian looking skirts over their ring gear,
Right.
like the Polynesian like dress, like
Right.
play it up, man. Have tiki torches beside the ring. Have a village elders section where they're all sitting and observing the match.
Right.
It could be one of the greatest matches of all time if they
Mm,
end the bloodline story there with The Rock.
right.
And he would
May
be over,
maybe.
over, over like no one has ever been over before.
If The Rock is going to stick around for a little while, that would make sense. Or if The Rock clearly appoints, like he said, I am now the head of the table. So Roman stole the head of the table, but I am going to appoint the next head of the table. And then The Rock passes it down to either Jay or Solo or something, something. So, because you don't want that to just be, okay, we'll see The Rock again in 7 years. Then we'll pick back up the head of the table gimmick.
I know. Yeah. You run this dilemma of like, if he takes the title, what does he do with it? Does
Right.
he drop it the next night on Raw? Does he vacate the title into
Right.
some King of the Ring scenario, which would be great, you
Right.
know? Um,
Or then you have Cody starts gunning for The Rock if The Rock takes the title, but then you almost have to turn Cody heel. You almost have to hit, my story just wouldn't end. Well, I'm going to make my story. And I don't think the crowd wants
right.
Cody as a heel. He is their
Cody's
top
not
baby face.
Cody's not quite big enough to have that Hogan Rock draw. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like to
Not
have
yet.
that legend versus he's just not. I wish he
He will
was.
get there, I think, but right
Yeah.
now in his career, I don't think that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I will say, out of all the things that are happening on the road to Royal Rumble, the thing that I think I'm one, most surprised by, and two, most interested in is
Ooh,
the fact that Jinder Mahal is being positioned as former world champion, all this as like a joke. I legitimately, I've said before, Seth Rollins is probably my least interesting on all of WWE TV. And I
right.
don't want CM Punk to lose his spot. I think Seth versus CM Punk is the right way to go. But I legitimately would love it if Jinder dethroned Seth at the Royal Rumble. I think that would
Hmm.
be amazing. And if you've been following some of the behind the scenes things, Jinder Mahal is in a Twitter war with the other team. Let's just say the other team, right? And he might be having like a little bit of a Becky Lynch moment. Remember how, not talking about when Nia broke Becky's nose, but talking about how she just started owning people on her Twitter game. And like every
Oh,
time Ronda Rousey said something, Becky was just like the Wendy's tweets of getting in there and just like, oh, that was good. If
yeah.
Jinder can start doing that, there's actually like this homegrown support thing happening of like, maybe he does deserve more than we gave him credit for.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
Jinder
he
was a
wasn't the
great
worst
heel
champion
champ.
ever.
Jinder was a great heel champ. He really
Yep.
was. He was a great heel, period.
Just the
Um,
way they pushed him made people not,
oh,
it wasn't palatable, like
agreed.
it wasn't done right, I think.
Agreed. I liked his little entourage that he had with him too. The guys that would come out,
Yeah.
his little
The
hype
Bollywood
team.
boys and
Yeah, like I loved it. There was so
yeah.
much that they could have done beyond the cliche foreign heel. Like they really
Right.
could have made him a person of wealth and prominence and
Right.
almost like a JBL type of heel. But
Yeah.
it's like
That's what they're
foreign
kind of trying
money.
for.
He's
The
wealth.
Maharaja.
Yeah, yeah. I would like he was good. They just didn't.
They just
He
didn't do
dropped that
much
title
with
so
it.
quick to AJ Styles, right? I mean, it was just so like on a
So quick in the fact that like he lost the match quick, but the title reign famously was, it just felt like it kept going forever. Like
yeah.
it was like 295 days or something like that,
He
that Jinder was just ongoing.
Yeah, I just meant like the actual job itself. It just was
Oh, right.
it's not even a convincing law. It was
Right.
a squash match, just
Yeah.
oops. And it was on a was it on a Raw even or a SmackDown? I mean, the
It
title
was on a
changed hands.
Raw and it was in England. And the
Oh
neat thing with
yeah.
that, it was the
Yeah.
first time, I think if I'm right, I think it was the first time in history the WWE title changed hands off American soil. And
Right.
so AJ Styles will forever have that feather in his cap. And I know we're not talking about the game right now. I said it on the stream that the three of us with
Yeah.
Professor did. Powerhouse AJ Styles. That's my new, I want him in the game.
And
S tier.
make him chunky
Make
like he
him,
is now. Somebody said the
yeah.
other day, it looks like this new AJ swallowed the old AJ. That's why he's swollen.
Yep.
Uh, he
So
swallowed
at
something, a lot of
Royal
protein.
Rumble, you've got LA Knight, you've got AJ Styles, you've got Randy Orton, and you've got the head of the table.
Right.
Any reality you see, Roman doesn't walk away from that the champion. Any reality.
No, I mean it's got to be Roman. It's like it can't not. It's going to be a great match. Roman's going to have a lot of rest moves laying outside the ring. Um, it's going to be whoever, Orton inevitably. Somebody's probably got to become a heel from that match, and it
Well,
probably will not be LA Knight. I mean, maybe it could be,
no.
or like
AJ's been
Orton.
teasing it, and
Yeah,
Orton's too fresh back. I mean, I know
right.
AJ is too,
It's
but
like somebody's got to be a heel.
I think
Somebody's
it's
got to be the
AJ.
one who screws over
Right,
LA Knight to cost him the match. To Roman gets the
right.
pin. Um,
Okay. So who gets the pin? Who does Roman pin in
LA
this
Knight.
then?
LA
You
Knight.
think?
I think. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not going to be AJ. I think AJ is going to be the heel turn that I don't know. AJ throws a chair
right,
shot, walks away from the ring. I
right.
don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It doesn't make any sense what they're doing with AJ right now. I don't get it. The club, why, like, bring the club with him? Why is he being weird
Right.
towards the club? Like, make
Yeah,
that his little stable and like let him just
right,
be heels together and let him be
right.
credible and believable instead of this. I don't know what the heck he's doing. I don't get it.
So here's where I think the booking is going, and if so, I really love it. AJ screws over LA Knight. Whatever happens there,
Right.
and Roman pins LA Knight, right? Because LA Knight is the guy that we all want to be in that scene
Sure.
yet.
Yeah, he's the fan. He's the
Then
fan favorite.
he's the fan favorite.
Yeah.
Then AJ and LA Knight is your WrestleMania match because
Oh,
famously,
yeah.
whatever you think about LA Knight's in-ring ability, I know some have said it's more show than it is substance.
He's like a
AJ
baby
can get a
deer.
great match out of anyone.
True. Yeah, he's like Shawn
AJ had
Michaels in that
a
in that
top
regard.
tier match with Shane McMahon at a WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I
AJ's the
mean, he's
kingmaker,
the showstopper. I mean, you know,
the
he
showstopper.
the new showstopper. He really is. He can
Yeah.
work with
Oh yeah.
anybody and
The
make them
best of a
shine.
generation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, but yeah, legitimately, like when we look
Yeah.
back and say who were the best in there, you're like, well, AJ Styles, his promo ability came along,
Right.
Other than that, I mean, that was his weakest area for a long stretch. But like you say, like now he's got the athleticism and he's got the bulk. He's got muscle for days now. He's got this killer attitude again. I mean, and behind the scenes, AJ can make any match
True.
a great match.
They
It
don't want
seems.
none. They don't
They
want
don't want
none. They don't want none. Hit them my. Yeah, like
his music's interesting.
it's I like AJ Styles, and I just think the guy's never really gotten the shake. Probably that he could have that he maybe earned even right with
Right.
in the business. Um,
Yeah.
it's a
Well, the
hard.
two world championships and battling John Cena. That's the highlight reel of that. Like where he became the face that runs the place and took it over
Right.
from John Cena. But that's what they're kind of echoing now, right? Because he was a heel then, and then he had to earn John Cena's respect and became a good guy. But he was
Right.
and the club was throwing balloons the club
Yeah.
was beating him up and all that. I mean, I think it's good.
I'd love to see a real shakeup this year, and maybe some sort of revitalization of the Too Sweet click with Finn Balor and AJ and the club. And
Yeah.
I mean, like it's all the ingredients are there, especially if they're heels. Like it's all there. Maybe Priest.
Right.
They've just totally decimated the LWO at this point.
Right.
With Santos taking the tag team. So like maybe Priest becomes an estranged member of the Judgment Day and somehow revitalizes the LWO with Zelina. Like that would be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. I don't think
Yeah.
we'll ever get there because it's so obvious and so cool and such an easy thing. It probably just will never happen. So,
Well, and the
um,
Judgment Day legitimately just keeps going from strength to strength. And I've said it the last couple weeks, but R-Truth and what they're doing with R-Truth, I know it's kind of turning the comedy aspect up on the Judgment Day.
it's really
It is my
strange.
favorite thing.
It's
But
I don't know if you know
favorite
this,
thing.
but it's happening on Twitter too. Like Rhea is posting like candids of her eating, pizza in a mall food court. And then in the far background is R-Truth. And she's like, how does this guy keep finding us? And like he's photo bombing their yeah, it's hilarious. So like their offstage antics have been really entertaining as well. Well, I
I love
think
it.
we won't know much else until tomorrow night's SmackDown. We'll have a lot more to talk about on next week's Champions Chat. You got anything else before we close out, Lee?
I think coming up, not this episode, but in the future, one of the things we're going to talk about or need to talk about is the division, the dividing of the tag team titles, because I think they're going there and I think they need to. And I think all things tag team division would make an amazing like next step for some of our things as we are on the road to the Royal Rumble. That's all
Nice.
I got for us.
Hopefully DIY will do something interesting because they're starting to get some
Right.
screen time. The guy that's getting more screen time than anybody is Ivar. I don't understand that,
Oh,
but and it's just like
okay.
the Meat
You gave
House
me
versus
something.
Meat House match.
Right? Can
How
I
many
just say that
people
match
can we
was
put against Ivar?
incredible?
Yeah,
Ivar versus Otis,
yeah,
they wrestled a cruiserweight match. Like
yeah.
if
They
you look
did.
at the style, if you look at
Yeah,
the spots, if you look at the way they did it, everything about that was a cruiserweight match with these super heavyweights. And it won me over. Like I believe now in those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, that was a lot of there. Like they could have easily collapsed the ring like they did in the old days, you know,
But
with the
instead, Otis just catches him and World's Strongest slams Ivar. And then
yeah.
Ivar goes up and does the big flip. And they're doing spots where they do the flippy elbows into the, like, if they would have done a kip up in the mix there, that was a straight up
Right.
cruiserweight match.
I'd love to see Big E come back healthy and like
Yeah.
dethrone all the big boys. Like that would be
Yeah.
great. That would be great.
All right, so future conversation. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us for our first Rusty and Lee podcast back of the new year. If you're not already, subscribe to this on YouTube, on the Apple iTunes podcasts, on Spotify,
It's totally
and
free.
keep aware for
Totally
our
free to
Twitch.
subscribe.
That's right.
It's free
And
to
it
play
helps us
players
out.
stream.
It's free. That's right. Like the video, share it with your faction. And as always, we just want to say, be good to one another. We so appreciate being a part of this community, and we appreciate you. Bye.